Hi guys. I always look to the side. I've got my camera down here below this camera, so I'm always like looking down a little bit. I don't know if you guys notice. So if I look here, there, so I'm looking at both of these different things. Then I look up at the camera. Okay. Sorry. So today, I love trying to figure out things while I go, and so today I want to keep concentrating on looking at the mental aspect of what we're going through, and then allowing intuitive abilities to lead us in the direction where we feel like we need to go. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Everyone says that, and you have to, because a lot of times when you're reading to specific soul groups that are going through specific lessons, and so you want to make sure that you're not teaching people, or if it sounds like it doesn't resonate with you, just leave it, because it could be that you're watching something that isn't going to resonate with you. What I've found is a lot of times things will just naturally find you for a reason, and that's the way to work. Anyway, Lover's card. This Lover's card has taken me a long time to figure out. Okay. Lovers is about the union of your internal self. Now, this has nothing to do with anything external. You will naturally attract, for one thing, you'll naturally attract in your environment what you are at peace with internally. As a matter of fact, I just had a meeting with somebody who was just like right on the same page as I am. And it was just like, it was such a blessing to be able to, spend time with somebody, and we're going to, start getting to know each other better, and possibly start a project together. But the Lover's card is about everything is a dichotomy, and you're always merging both sides of that dichotomy, right? So it has to do with accepting everything in your environment and marrying it. So masculine, feminine, father, son. And I say father, saying father and mother. When I say father on this channel, I mean the creator and the created, right? So that's father, mother. Mother would be Gaia, or the universe, the created field. The father is the creator, that, the seed, the thought that creates the creation. Positive, negative, right? The two pillars of severity, the mental and the emotional. All these things are dichotomies that you have to marry within yourself in order to understand yourself better, so that you can understand other people better. Everything is a dichotomy, even your sense of self versus other people, because since we are all one, the relationship with ourselves is how we will relate to other people. If we are in conflict internally, we'll be in conflict with the people around us, right? Always meet people wherever they're at. Accept people for the way they are, right? And accept their boundaries for whatever boundaries they have. This is something that I personally had a problem with a long time ago. And you have to recognize it within yourself before you can forgive yourself, make adjustments, and then move forward. So, one aspect of that is the way, for one thing, I consider everyone family. Every single person in my life I've ever met, I consider all you family. It doesn't matter if you try to attack me or not, right? Because I know that we are all one. We're part of a group consciousness, whether we want to admit it or not, right? Every time you make a connection with somebody, a lot of times you'll establish an energetic portal, and so every time you think about that person, you'll feel what they're feeling, or if they're thinking about you, all of a sudden you might get feelings that'll pop up, and somebody's created an energetic portal of the way they're feeling. So to master yourself, it doesn't matter what you're feeling, try to recognize it and say, what brought this feeling on? And then come to a place of peace. I'm going to make another video that I'll post on my website, because I want it to be available all the time, of just a simple meditation exercise. It probably won't be a guided exercise. It'll just be, I'll just talk you through what you need to focus on to make sure that you're opening the switch here and connecting to your higher self. Because when you're in your creative energy, You want to be creating positivity for yourself and the people around you in equal portion. You always got to have balance. So you want to spend quality time with the people you love. You want to spend quality time with the people you're working with. That's the public. And then you need to have quality time with yourself. So, if you're allowing too much things out there, like if you're thinking negatively about what anybody else is doing or anything, it'll pull you out of your creative energy. And then on the time for yourself, it'll pull you into activities that aren't really following your own self-development and growth, if that makes sense. And so when you're interacting with people that are just all feeding off of each other and haven't, really mastered the way that they view themselves and the way they're viewing other people, they'll be trying to pull off you in some way. And so you have to continually, this is something that I've had to do in some of my personal relationships, continually put my hand up. Hey, look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I accept whatever, And so you don't want to fall into, it's easy to fall into conflict with somebody who's trying to pull you into conflict, if that makes sense. And so mastering yourself and getting yourself to a place where it's just like, this is who I am, right? And this is what I accept. These are the boundaries that I'm going to put up. And so accepting other people's boundaries, right? If somebody wants to, if somebody came to me and said, hey, let's work together, it's like, okay, these are the boundaries of the relationship I'd like to work under. And if they don't like those boundaries, I'm like, fine, that's okay with me, right? Be at peace. It's as simple as that. I'm not trying to encroach on your boundaries. I'm just letting you know what mine are. And I accept you exactly the way you are. All of us are coming in deeper understandings of ourselves. And so it enables us to create boundaries for ourselves and love ourselves so that we love the people around us in this way. Very important. And so, part of my project is to create these perfect boundaries for me. And those boundaries will actually probably change over time. And the group needs to be able to do that, because you'll find things that don't work. What boundary is not creating a situation where we're supportive of each other, right? That's where your relationships grow over time and you learn more about yourself. Amazing, right? That's all of us want, is just to be supportive of one another and create these boundaries that are great. And so, if the world is living and accepting money, I want to create boundaries where I want the people I work with, we're working together a mutual incentive, mutual accountability system where we're holding each other accountable, we're loving each other unconditionally, letting things go, but also standing in the pillar of severity and saying, look, these are the things that we won't accept, right? Whatever burdens you're carrying, you hold on to them. If it feels like you're being burdened by something, just take time out, meditate. Don't ever try and point the finger at somebody else for something that you're doing. That's what the world does, and that people are learning to have to grow out of that, because it's nobody else's fault. Whatever you're going through is what you need to go through for you. You can't point the finger at anybody else. So, and understanding that is the key to, right, just infinite growth, because then all you're doing is working on yourself and working on the way how you present yourself to the people you care about. So, one aspect of the Lover's card that we're going to deal with today, and then we're going to pull cards on this, is the father-son. So father-son relationship is your higher self manifesting as the son, the father-son relationship. And I pulled this card so many times in the past, I don't know how long. And it would always say, you have two choices. And I'm going to explain what those two choices are so you guys really understand why society is going through what it's going through. Because those two choices are the reason why society is going through what it's going through, and why you'll see so much unrest in the people around you, especially in the business community right now. Is father-son. So all of us want freedom, right? And so we offer services for money to obtain freedom. The problem is that's just freedom for the individual. So you're able to enter your childlike energy, but you never grow up. you're never in service to the people around you in a way that is mutual incentive. For example, if I'm always trying to prop myself up against my environment to sell a service, I'm technically in conflict with that environment instead of sharing our services that we're both good at, right? And propping each other up and working together to create something. So what's happening in the world today is you've got this giant organism, and the structures that were in that organism, the individual, the big structures, let's say the bigger companies, had a dysfunctional hierarchical system that was trying to control itself on the internally in a dysfunctional way. So that pulls people away from it. That's due to fear, jealousy over positions, lots of different types of things. And it creates a bunch of individuals who are now selling individual services to that environment. So as the number of boxes grow that are pulling off of each other energetically, the more you have to dump into that system to keep it alive. And the result of that is inflation, which means it gets harder and harder for the individual to sell a service, right? So that's what's happening. And so that's the father, that's looking at it from the father's aspect. And so you want to make sure that you're creating, the father loves you unconditionally, but he's also saying, look, these are the boundaries that I set. I will serve you in whatever way, I'll prop you up in whatever way you need. You are a beautiful individual that has talents and skills far above probably anybody else that can do that, whatever it is you do. And I've met so many people that had so many amazing skill sets. Coaching group that I was in last year, you guys might have heard him talking about it. Every single person in that group, all the women in that group were so amazing in each individual talent that they had. And there's nothing wrong with selling a service, right? You got to create that boundary, but all of a sudden we're going through something that's creating an understanding that we have to start learning how to create better relationship boundaries so that we're lifting each other up. Because if you're ever trying to sell to each other, that's what creates conflict. When you're just pouring energy into each other and being mutually supportive of each other, and then creating something as a group, that's what's mutually beneficial. But at the same time, you want to be able to use your creative energy and create what you want as an individual. Hence the reason for this channel. So even if I'm creating something as a group somewhere else, I want to make sure I'm maintaining my individuality and creating what I need to create. This is my YouTube channel. I'll always have this YouTube channel. It'll never go away, right? So creating balance, creating creative energy as a group versus an individual. And that's what creates balance in yourself, balance in your relationships, where you're mutually supportive. What could be better than that, right? So what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah. So the best story to watch behind that, that really shows that concept better than any other movie I've ever seen is the original Hook by Robin Williams. I am writing a second book, and I finished that chapter a couple weeks ago, and I'm getting ready to write a chapter on balance and every aspect of balance in your life. There are so many aspects of balance that you really have to maintain. Getting a regular routine down so that you're meeting your daily goals. You don't have to do everything in one day. You just want to make sure that you're spending the right amount of time for yourself, and like I said, for the people around you, and in your community. So, the movie Hook is an amazing story because it talks about Peter Pan growing up, becoming an old man, but he forgot how to be a child. And whenever I pull this lover's card, it would say you'll have to pick two choices, and this goes back to the direction that I said that society is going to: become a child or become a man. Now, or you can merge those two qualities and go forward, right? So you can stay in your childlike energy and manifest the people that are setting those right kind of boundaries and work together, because that's an adult thing to do to help society start learning how to work together and create healthy boundaries. But stay in your childlike energy. You can merge those two. And that movie is about that. It's about Robin Williams finally remembering who he is, falling into that childlike energy, but taking responsibility for his children, right? And then he starts investing his time in his children and into himself. But he learns to fly at the same time, and he's a kid. He just becomes a kid again. So you can merge the two. But when you don't merge the two, you can create your childlike energy and, ooh, what it is that I love to do. And you can start to create things. But if you never learn to work with other people in a healthy way, you never grow up, right? That's what's happening in our society. We got a bunch of kids running and just fighting in a playground trying to take take each other's stuff, right? They're all jealous of each other, fighting over. It's terrible. When you look at it, it's like, well, you just accept it for what it is. Say, hey, I accept. You guys can beat each other up, be kids if you want. Try and steal from each other. I don't know. But these are my boundaries, and I love you unconditionally. But this is, I want to love to work with you, and this is how I would like to work with you in a mutually beneficial relationship, right? So that's what's happening in our society. There's a bunch of children fighting over land, who's in control of the money. It's just, kids who have too much power in their hands because they learn to get into their creative energy. And you can get in your creative energy, but if you never learn to work with other people, and you never learn to love yourself and love other people the same way, then you never become the father, right? But you can merge both. You can become the father and the son. And there's nothing that I had loved better in my life than when I was a kid, building stuff with my friends, right? Used to recently, went to help a friend, built his dad's cabin, and his dad passed away, but love doing that stuff. I can do that stuff forever, and I will never expect anything from you in return. You got my undivided attention, as long as I get that in return from you guys, right? So, and it's that simple. It's not difficult. It's, and even if I don't get it from you, I don't dislike you. I love you. Everyone's got to go through their own things at the right time. It's all in divine timing, right? And there's nobody that, and then you'll learn to love yourself because you are so grounded and so anchored in who you are that nothing will ever disturb you. You'll never get into a negative emotional state. You'll always be at peace. And you'll always show everyone respect and say, look, I'm just going to return whatever energy you show me. And if you feel like you are worth more than me, then I'm just going to walk away. I love you. You just have some stuff you got to work out, right? It's just that simple. I love you. And you might be super awesome at whatever it is you do. But I'm super awesome at whatever it is I do. And that is growing. Just going to continue to grow. Never going to stop growing, right? So, yeah. Exciting. So you're never looking for the destination. The destination really doesn't mean anything. It's just your state of awareness and your state of being. So that you're always in your creative energy. And so you're constantly just creating new stuff. You're like a blooming flower, a blooming rose, with very sharp, pointy thorns on it that will only accept somebody who wants to be delicate with you the same way that you want to be delicate with them. Right? Okay. I think I got that one across. So, Lover's card. Let's pull some cards on the Lover's card. What does Spirit got to tell us with the Lover's card here? Let's see. So, what do we need to think about with the Lover's card? So we're going to find out by what cards are, if we need to deal with the mental aspect, maybe emotional aspect. Because I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but maybe somebody needs to hear this. Your mental body will control your emotional body. The mental body comes first because that's the masculine circuit. So the way that you're viewing yourself and you're viewing the people around you will lead to the emotional state you're in. And if you're viewing anybody in a negative light in any way, you won't be in control of your emotions, and you won't be able to show the love for people and forgiving them when if they come to you and say, hey, look, I did something, I'm really sorry. It's like, that's what, I'll forgive you. It's fine. I love you, right? And so, you have to let people carry their own burdens. And if it feels like somebody's burden, say, hey, look, I'm just going to do my own thing for a while, and I'll check back with you in a little bit. Simple as that, right? So let's see what we got here. Mental body versus the emotional body. I think that's what we're supposed to be listening about. You guys already heard my spiel about the Father and the Son. You want to embody the Father. Let people know, well, okay, we got the Chariot. So the Chariot card is showing you those two aspects. Moving forward with unconditional love and severity. This is cutting away what you don't want. This is supporting what you do want. A tree only grows by the way you water it and prune it. Right? Chariot card is an excellent card. Shows you forward progress. We're making forward progress. We're cutting away the things that aren't serving us, and so that we become more of our creative energy. The white, you could say, is the creative, and the dark is just putting your hand up and letting go of things, thinking negatively about yourself or anybody else is not serving you any good. It doesn't matter what anybody else is going through. Let's say that they're blaming you for everything they're going through, right? I'm going to give a situation here. If they are, just in your mind, think they're just having to go through whatever they need to go through and create positive energy in that direction, and then shut it down. There's no reason to think about it anymore. Now, if there's an action you feel like you need to take, with love and unconditional love, but also in a way that makes people know what your boundaries are. It's like what you will and won't accept, right? Judgment. Chariot and Judgment. So this card, to me, is you're calling judgment for yourself, right? Because you are the one that is ultimately in judgment of yourself. You are the one bringing judgment to yourself. And as long as you're judging yourself correctly and you're moving forward correctly, you'll start picking up pieces of yourself. You're collecting fragments of your soul that were lost because you weren't pruning things correctly. When you're allowing too much of the world around you to feed off of you, and this is something that I know inherently well about, right? It doesn't matter what it is. It could be drugs, alcohol, TV, you name it. Anything. You're losing portions of yourself. You're not in your creative energy. You're not providing positivity for yourself or the people around you. Too much of whatever you're doing is feeding off of you. I mean, I got my phone sitting here. Just don't even want to think about the phone, right? So judgment. As you're traveling forward on the Chariot, merging both sides of yourself, you're picking up fragments of yourself, right? Amazing lesson. Oop, popped out. Two of Cups. Almost the same card. So this is the external version of this. So as soon as you can master this card, the Lovers, then this is the feminine version of this card. This is the masculine version of the card, the Lovers. Major Arcana are all masculine. Weird to think about that. Well, they're not all masculine. But it's all dealing with the self. This card has more to do with your external environment. So as soon as you master yourself, your emotional body, your mental body, now you're going to come into union with somebody who's in a similar state, right? You're coming into union with, wow. Got the Lovers, Two of Cups, Chariot, and Judgment card. Hermit. Getting your Hermit energy. This will light your way. Because a lot of times the Hermit is gonna tell you what you need to do. Listen to the Hermit energy. The Hermit paired with the Two of Cups is interesting because It's also falling in love with yourself. It might not even be falling, because when you really understand yourself, King of Swords. So this is the severity card. This is your mental field. This is on your creative energy. This is you standing in your power and say that, this is what I'll accept. King of Swords loves you. This is the father figure that loves you, that is disciplining the child within you, saying, look, we're not going to do this anymore. Don't ever look out there and say that this card has nothing to do with anybody out there. This card is about what you'll accept in your own mind. Say, I am not going to think about myself this way, and I'm not going to think about my other people this way, right? Mastering yourself. This is the master card. Mastering your mind, your third eye. And that brings in the crown chakra, and then we lead with the temperance angel. That leads to the temperance angel. Everything, all this is a journey to the temperance angel, because you're mastering yourself so that you can heal the people around. Heal yourself so that you can heal the people around you. And you do that by educating them and showing them that you love them, both mental and emotional. So I've reached out to more people lately because I've understood myself a lot better and just told them how much I love them, right? My dad's sitting over there. I love my dad, love my boy, love everybody, right? Temperance angel. Let's get one more card. So there's a little bit of this. So we've got giving to the less fortunate. So this card is interesting to me, and you actually, on all these cards, you basically exist in every place in this card. So you're always in this humble position, right? You're standing at the mercy seat. You're in supplication. You're receiving things, and you're giving things at the same time. So you're giving and receiving. This is a great card. I love that. This pairs with the Six of Wands because you're in victory. And you're always in all three of these states. Then you're always in motion. This is a victory card. So this is a state of being where the fruits of your labors are. This is a beautiful card. This is the Six of Cups is misunderstood a lot, but always at the mercy seat and letting go of control and giving this positive energy will always create this where you're always receiving, right? Whatever you need. Receiving the fruit of the Spirit, receiving material wealth that you need to move forward. It's all happening in this card. And so, still a little bit confused about where we're going, right? But we're still moving. Chariot's still going. Let's get one over. Knight of Cups. Beautiful card. So this is you showing your love for the people around you. Holidays. Happy holidays. Pretty simple, right? Getting ready to cross a river. The river is, his emotions, carrying his emotions in his cup. Love this card. The Knight of Cups. So let's get an oracle card, and then we'll leave it with that. And maybe we'll do a couple of aspects on the Lover's card. I don't know. We'll see. The Lover's card is something that I was just intuitively kind of told to kind of work on today. Worlds within worlds. Wow, what an interesting card, right? Because, that's kind of what I'm talking about is worlds within worlds. We've got the way our body works, the way our society works, the way your relationships work. They're all worlds within worlds. You're just involved with this giant field of intelligence that's expands outward and inward infinitely. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.